It's your boy MC again. We're doing another video on Wilder Fury 3. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going hard while we got the time to do so, and this is exactly what we're going to do. Shout out to the LDBC. Shout out to Fannin International Boxing. I heard Fannin's been out for a couple days. Where you at, man? We want to see you back and at it. We're all waiting on your videos to drop. Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV. Shout out to Boxing Ego, 78 Boxing, Mo Boxing, and plenty more. Y'all know who you are in the boxing squad. Also, I can't forget the man's Aki TV. You know what I'm saying? For helping expose Glovegate and just being a boxing realist, part of the new media. But back to the point of this video, Wilder, Fury 3. Fury, the biggest cheater in boxing history, the biggest fraud. He frauded everybody. He frauded the UK. He frauded the real gypsies. He frauded the USA. He frauded all the real boxing fans, all of us who are really tuning in and actually care about this sport, who actually watch this sport and even got love for this sport. So Tyson Fury is truly, surely just a disgrace. Disgrace from top to bottom, from toe to face. There's no other way to really put it. You just got to put it how it is. But on the flip side, to Deontay Wilder, the Bomb Squad, we're winning. We're winners. We're the champions. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep on winning. And if we fall down, we're going to get back up. The thing is, Deontay Wilder hasn't fallen down. He was cheated against, and he bounced back. Look how far the man's bounced back. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's all ready to go. Despite all of that cheating. That was like a ton of cheating. When I say a ton, I mean freaking truckloads. You gotta empty into the back of a pit in a freaking, field. That's how much cheating took place. And it's beyond that, because right now they've got the whole internet flooded with so many different narratives. You don't know what to believe, what to report, or what to think. But I'll tell you one thing's for sure. All those old heads that are reporting that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, they've been trying to get that thing going for the last 2 years for a fact. It's probably been going on longer, but one thing's for sure, Joshua was ducking Wilder a while back. You know what I'm saying? And people want to say that Wilder was trying to avoid Anthony Joshua, but he didn't want to fight Joshua because he wanted to fight Fury. He was giving Fury a chance, so, y'all forgetting that he was giving Fury a chance while, he wasn't really taking up the fight with Joshua because he didn't really need to or have to, Joshua was a walk in the park, as you can see Andy Ruiz, what he did with him. I'm not trying to disrespect the man, Joshua's a great fighter, I think Joshua has the capacity to beat Fury if Fury's not freaking cheating and doesn't have the establishment on his side. Now, y'all are going to have to tell me what the hell y'all think is going to take place if Fury does fight AJ. You would like to think this fight would take place in the freaking UK, but ironically, the man's banned in the UK, so the biggest fight for the UK can't take place in the UK. That's a whole nother point, which is just, this is a disgusting little fact about this whole situation, but let's get a little bit more deeper into this whole thing, Yeah, so like I was saying, Deontay Wilder offered the step-aside money from this man right here, Tyson Fury. Now, why is Tyson Fury resorting to this cowardism, this bigotry? You know what I'm saying? Why does he demean himself like this? You know what I'm saying? And display this type of behavior blatantly? Is it the protection that's been bestowed upon him by the establishment? Is that why he has faith in his own behavior? How do you turn a blind eye to this type of blatancy and oblivion to your own self-disrespect? Like, how does a man knowingly, willingly, lovingly cheat? How do you live by the cheating code? I don't know. Maybe it's not just him. It obviously isn't just him. There's so many cheaters in this world. Whether it comes to the job or someone just trying to get the ups on somebody else or trying to finesse. There's a such thing as fair game out here, but the cheating is just unreal, I tell you. It's always a blind eye turned to it in boxing, and it really needs to be highlighted and exposed, because wrong is wrong and right is right, and what's right is that 5% of truth, is all that we need to know that Wilder vs. Fury 3 could still very well be taking place and going on, because I know that Deontay Wilder is not going to accept no $10 million from no Tyson Fury and his fake team after knowing that he was cheated against and almost died in that ring because Tyson Fury was too much of a freaking coward and had this all planned out with the establishment backing him, his team, and even some inside traders, right? And after the fact of him knowing that he knocked him out in the first round, I mean, Deontay Wilder still gave this man the rematch. With the clause being in that rematch, and for Tyson Fury not to honor it after Deontay Wilder honored the rematch for him, I mean, that is just sickening. You know, this is why I can't stand Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I won't stand him. I don't stand for him. You know, look at these gloves flapping back like this. Like, this never gets old. You could look at this a million different times, and you can ask yourself why all those haters don't want to address this. Why Tyson Fury never looked at this photo and said, damn, the freaking glove is hanging off of my elbow. Why the hell is his glove hanging off his elbow? You see what I'm saying? It's because this is the type of shit that'll make you sick. And they call him the champion. I mean, I kid y'all not, I dare y'all to go watch the moment that Tyson Fury got dropped for over 10 seconds when Deontay Wilder hit him flush with that hit in the first fight. When you see him get dropped like that, I guarantee all the hype around him gets lost. You lose all faith once you see him get dropped. You know, it kind of reminds me of Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell. You know, Ryan Garcia, he looks so damn good on video hitting that boxing bag. But when you see Luke Campbell drop him in the second round, you begin to see that the man is definitely not invincible. Looks can be very deceiving. You know, so it's not all about the looks. You know, I can give you an even better example. Just scroll on your TikTok. Go on your Facebook. Better yet, go on your Instagram. I don't even go on that shit, but that's my whole point. You want to talk about looks are deceiving? I mean, we're talking about boxing. I'm trying to give y'all an image of what, you know what I'm saying, you can do to images and how you can make yourself look on social media and how that impacts your credibility inside of a sport or inside of a ring or against another opponent, let alone I'm just making examples out of real life. Now, all you haters out there who don't want to agree with me, suit yourself. But deep down inside, you know I'm telling the truth, and you know that I'm speaking the truth, so I'm going to keep on speaking it the way I do. You know, so back to the business. You know, this picture right here is Nicholas Asbury pressing his thumb into Tyson Fury's glove, you know, the day he was sparring with him, you know, in preparation and build up to this Wilder fight. And then to your left, you know, what do you know, tip of this green part right here looks eerily similar to where his thumb is being pressed into this glove right here. I mean, so the same thing's going on, in other words, is what I'm saying. You know, what they did in practice, they carried out into the actual fight. You know what I'm saying? So their tactics definitely held through. These are old tactics that have been exposed, well known. You know what I'm saying? People have already, you know, exposed them in other fighters. For some reason, it's being brushed under the rug recently, even more so in 2021. I could talk about this for days, how Tyson Fury is not the champion, because it's clear as day to see that anybody who's a cheat can't be the champion. And it's just basic, you know what I'm saying, common sense. You know what I'm saying? Who wrote that? Thomas Paine, you know, or whoever it was. It's just common sense. But yeah, Deontay Wilder is the real champion. You know, shout out to Nicholas Asbury. He was unafraid. He knew something was wrong. The way Tyson fake Fury was hitting him in the ribs with that ironclad that he had lodged inside of his gloves. You know, and they had the whole camp there. You know, he thought he was getting good practice in. You know, horrible fighter for being juiced up, having all that extra advantage. I mean, this guy is so timid. Just gotta let y'all know how timid this man is. I mean, unbelievably timid. I see why Deontay Wilder knocked him out in the first fight. You know, wow. But then, wow, you look at this picture right here. You see that dent in Wilder's freaking cranium by his mandible, is what they say, the mandible bone. And I see why it's part of the mandible, because the skull is right here. It's touching the skull though too. But all this is definitely connected to the skull part. You know, so And then, you know, they got a close-up on his glove. You take a look at this right here. This always baffles me. This is why I call it the horseshoe glove. Looks like an ironclad. Looks like it weighs about 3 to 5 pounds of sheer iron. Just chilling in a freaking backwards banana boat shape. You know, just ready to inflict impact, you know, implosion inside of the bone marrow, bone tissue, just bend it backwards, blow it back, you know. And that's what this was all about, you know. And he was talking about dipping his hands in the petrol and all that, drying out the knuckles, brittling them up, you know, making them turn into crustaceans, calloused crustaceans, you know. And then the old trick in the book, you know, that gypsies used to do, move the hair around in the gloves so your knuckles can be exposed in the thinnest part of the glove, which is the outer layer, which is oftentimes like plastic rubber or barely, you know, synthetic leather. Very penetrable, especially with brittle knuckles. It's pretty much next to nothing. Might as well call it bare boxing if there's nothing in between that and your knuckles. Bare knuckle boxing. But you know, this isn't the BKFC. This isn't the bare knuckle, you know, boxing fighting championship. This is professional boxing where you're supposed to wear, you know, the gloves, and you know they're supposed to be fitted properly and custom made to your size, and supposed to be inspected before you get out there and perform in the ring. And you know, like I said, y'all know what this was. I'm not sugarcoating shit. The establishment was in on this. You know, I'm gonna go in. You know, Tyson fake Fury, you know, he's not going to get away with this. You know, that judge isn't stupid. I don't think Tyson Fury has enough money to pay the judge off. Let alone, not all judges operate within those, you know, underground realms where they take part in nefarious activity, taking bribes, especially by gypsy fiends. You know, who would take a bribe from Tyson Fury? You know, you can definitely land yourself in a freaking lawsuit or land yourself in prison messing around with a Tyson Fury. He's the type to get caught up for some racketeering that went wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say. You know, I'm about to end this right here. Tyson Fury, he's definitely a coward, despite what anyone wants to say or his little defender boys. You know, trying to do everything he can to get away from Wilder, running by any and every means, even if he has to inject himself with more nandrolone so he can run a little bit faster away from Deontay Wilder into a brick wall and make more excuses. Because you want to talk about excuses, I've never seen more excuses than I've witnessed with this man right here. In 2020 and 2021, this is Mr. Excuse King. They should put him on Mount Everest and put Mr. Excuse on his forehead and tattoo that shit permanently. You know what I'm saying? Because this man right here is a joke. You know what I'm saying? And I can't believe the establishment is promoting him because they're a joke too for doing that shit. You know, subscribe to MCTV. I'm going to give it to y'all raw. Tyson Fury Exposed. The trilogy is still on.